Oh, I apologise in advance. If you can hear weird noises throughout the episode, it's my stomach. I don't know what's going on, but it's making a lot of noises today, so I apologise. And also, I did have the drawstring thing in here, but in the wash it came out, and I can't be bothered putting it back in, so here we are. Anyway, on to the episode. Hello! Hi guys, my name is Scott. Nope, that's the end of the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the next reaction to Season 7 of the 100. I'm in a very weird mood today. I just feel very scatterbrained, but also excited to watch my episodes, but my head is all over the place. So, Season 7 of the 100. Last episode we watched was the first episode of the season, From the Ashes, and there's a couple of big things that happened last episode that I'm excited to see where they develop moving forward. So one is Echo, Gabriel, Bellamy, Hope, that kind of arc. So Octavia disappeared at the end of the season last season. Bellamy chased after her, got knocked out by someone who was invisible and dragged away, and then Hope, Gabriel, Echo all chased him into the anomaly. These invisible people, which turned out to be men in these suits that looked invisible or made them look invisible, knocked him out and were closing the anomaly somehow, so they chased him through. So what I'm hoping with this episode is we see more of what's through the anomaly, what's on the other side. Why does Hope have memory loss? Why does she have a note inside her arm that says trust Bellamy, I think it said. So that was really cool. But we also had the Russell stuff. So the main things to really talk about is Russell was feeling kind of suicidal because his family were all being killed and he was being held captive. The children of Gabriel wanted him dead, but there's also his supporters there as well, which I think includes like Jordan and that lot, if I remember correctly. It's been about a week, but it's been an intense week at work, so my head is a bit frazzled. But I think it was Jordan that was one of his supporters as well now. And long story short, Clark beat the crap out of him for killing her mum, as she should. Girl boss, proper girl boss move. I would have done the same thing. I probably would have killed him myself. But then, when he was unconscious, Shade Hader was in his mind, killed Russell, and is now taking over his body. So Russell is now the Dark Commander, not Jordan, as I was really convinced it was going to be for some reason. But it's Russell. But then Clark announced that Russell was going to die the next day, which I don't think he will. I feel like what's going to happen is either Russell will escape, maybe with the help of some of his, people that support the Primes and the people of Sanctum that aren't the ones that were turning against Sanctum, because there's still some believers in there as well, and people loyal to the faith. Or he reveals that Maddie's no longer a commander, and that he is the commander now, and the one crew that are still remaining that support the commanders will turn against Maddie and help break Russell out, and he will take over. Something like that, one of the two. I'm excited to jump into the episode. I still think, after thinking back on last episode, it felt like a very weird first episode of a season to me, just because with the show as a whole, the first episode of each new season tends to feel really different from the last season. So if you think like season 2, when we went into the Mountain Men, that was so different in there than what we'd seen before. Like season 1 was all like mud and forest and fire and the other people that were already on the earth, and it was all very primal. Whereas this was like a group of civilized people that live in this place with classical music, candlelight, paintings, and it was all very nice, on the most part. So each season kind of introduces a lot of new things and feels like a whole new thing, whereas this one felt like just a continuation of the past season, which isn't a bad thing. There was still some new stuff introduced with the invisible guys, the anomaly, but because that felt like a continuation of what we'd already established last season, it felt like season 6 part 2. It just didn't feel as different as I expect from this show. It's like a new season's usually a complete divergent from the last season, but we'll wait and see how the rest of the season pans out. This is season 7 episode 2, and it's called The Garden. I don't know. Maybe the garden is something that's through the anomaly. I'm excited to see more about that, like where they end up, where they go, who they meet through there. Obviously, we've got these people that are trying to shut the anomaly down, so there's a lot of people through that anomaly. It's some weird time rift, but I'm excited to see if the gardens may be the place they end up in, or is the garden something to do with, because Clark burnt down the Sanctum Palace thing, didn't she? So maybe they rebrand and call it the Garden rather than the Sanctum, and like the Garden of Eden, like we're going to start again. But what I do wonder, because of the final moments of the last episode when Clark was like screaming at everybody and announcing that Russell's going to die, what I'm wondering is if we were in for a darker season with Clark. She's been through so much stuff, And now her mum, who's kind of going to be a weird thing to say, one of the constants, I guess, to a degree. Yeah, she's been separated from her a lot, but because she's been a huge part of her life up till she had to kill her last season, I wonder if that she's going to go off the rails a bit, because it seems like she's taking more of a darker turn, which I'm looking forward to. I'd like to see a different side to Clark. We saw a lot of different aspects to her character last season, and the actress in particular showed a lot of range last season. So I wonder if like a darker Clark this season is going to be the way we go. I don't know. Let's jump into the episode to find out. If you enjoyed the video, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And please take a look at the Patreon link down below to watch the full-length reaction to this episode and help support the channel. Let's jump into Season 7, Episode 2 of the 100, The Garden. Oh, also, if they've gone through the anomaly and we see what's on the other side, are we going to see Diyoza again? Because I miss her a lot. It's the anomaly. Hello? Octavia? With either a giant ash jellyfish or it's really close to the camera. So I wonder if it's like the same moon but in the future or something like that. It's nice to see Octavia again though. She wasn't in the last episode, so it felt very odd not to have her. She's all good. What on earth is that thing? Diyoza? Diyoza?
Who's here?
Oh!
What happened?
She's still pregnant.
No.
Oh, this is going to be weird. This is going to be trippy.
For only 6 months. I've been here for 3.
She's been there for 3. Her daughter was the one that got Octavia through.
Right behind you. Oh.
No, this is the first time she went through. What am I talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have no idea.
Come on, Scott. Get your head in the game.
I thought I was going to have to do this all alone. Now pull this little sweat out, and the 3 of us can watch a sunset together.
That's a nice thought, but whatever happened to Octavia then, because she came running back through, right?
Okay, you could do this. Just look at me and think of someplace else. Yes!
That was quick. That was a very quick birth. And that baby's very clean.
It worked. It worked.
It was a sweet moment. See, we like this Octavia. We stand. We live. Right, so this is the second time she's coming through. Oh, this is when they came through. And this is going to confuse me.
Skyring. Creative. I named it when I was 3. What do you expect?
Skyring. Well, that's not creepy at all.
Given the time differential, I haven't been here for hundreds of years.
It's incredible.
Enough! We need answers, starting with, where the hell is Bellamy?
Once they got here, they used the bridge. Take them to Bardo.
Bardo?
Yes.
Bridge?
The next stop. They are the disciples, the guys that were chasing us.
Disciples? Okay.
Andrew said if I tagged Octavia, he would let my mother live.
And Anders is...
Okay, confused.
Head of the disciples.
Is it Andrew? Andros?
Now, I'm gonna go to Bardo and make sure he kept it.
Andrews?
I was not trying to kill her. I told you. It was a locator tag. I didn't have a choice. She understood.
Oh.
She understood. Yes. My mother, my
So
responsibility.
she tagged her and maybe he pulled them
They
through?
used the bridge. I don't believe it.
I used to play down here as a kid. Little did I know
Risky.
it was a bridge to the stars.
Stars.
CB.
So how do we get to Bardo?
Trust Bellamy. A friend on the inside gave it to me.
So they're going to another world, a new one.
The code is washed away.
I kind of want these two to be like
Milk doesn't come from a pinky.
a power couple.
Be walking around.
Raising this baby together.
Near as I can figure, time between here and Sanctum doesn't square up. The good news is
Yeah, that makes
you've been
sense.
here for years and no one would miss you. I've had time to scout. As far as I can tell, there are no threats. Any food, water,
That's not gonna last though, is it?
shelter.
What is it about Bellamy that has otherwise sensible women willing to die for him?
Have you seen him?
You were here for 6 years?
I was here for 20 years. She was here for 10. 6 of them spent trying to reach the pretty light at the bottom of the lake.
The anomaly. I thought they were going to introduce something new that was like the
That's
pretty
what we learn
light.
faster. From what I gather, every mind has its own unique code. They call it a biometric
Signature.
Okay.
A consciousness code, of course.
When you put
Okay,
mine
of
in
course.
on Sanctum, you pulled me over.
And sent Octavia to the other side.
No, I did that. You can pull someone through by entering in their code, or you can tag them with a tracker. It's not an anomaly. It's a bridge. A transit system. The one on Sanctum leads here, and the one under the lake leads to Bardo.
Stones are connected. Each one must have a unique code.
Glad that's exciting.
So you can't, it's not a
We're
two-way
still
bridge then.
Stuck here.
It's literally a one-way system. Who's that? Who's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll come back for you.
The numbers on his arm were counting down.
It's how long he's a prisoner here. 5 years.
What?
That is how long I expect us to stay. Skyring is the place where they send people to atone for their sins.
So this
Garden is one of his.
world is a prison.
We have to start planting soon if we want to harvest before winter. When the timer on his arm hits 0, the disciples come for him.
Right, and you think they'll take us too?
Of course not. No. We kill them, take their suits, jump to Bardo.
There she goes, talking about killing again.
I'm sure it's going to be that easy.
Not 2 minutes. If I get to 3, I'll be at the glow. Holding your breath is not the hardest part. Oh, here we go. 20 meters. If you don't equalize right, your eardrums burst. So what's our planet called? Skyring. Of course it is.
I want these two to like make out and just be a power lesbian couple.
Everyone on Bardo is raised to be a disciple. Every single one of them is a warrior. Not like the flower children who worshipped you. Fortunately, they send people here who aren't pulling their own weight.
I'm excited to see Bordeaux though.
Not devout enough.
See what it's like.
The spy stabbed her boyfriend's sister and kicked her over a cliff.
I forgot about that. Was that like season
He went through here.
4, right?
Leave us alone! I didn't invite them here. I swear it. I didn't invite you. Isolation madness. Get to our house. I tried to save Hope. I tried, but I couldn't.
She's right there. Are we doing chips again?
A mind tribe.
Oh god, here we go again.
Allegiance 3 was here. We're on planet Beta.
Oh!
Skyring's better.
Skyring's a cooler name. They mentioned Planet Beta last season because that's where the primes wanted to go, right?
Russell and I reverse engineered their tech to hold an entire mind.
That'll play his memories.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a new little twist that we've got on the mind drive.
Jessica? So what are the odds that Allegiance 3 randomly chose 2 planets connected by anomaly stones?
Long.
So they created the
It says
bridge.
suggests that the people in Bardo descend from Allegiance as well. If I'm right,
Yeah.
it could mean that the species that created the stones, thousands perhaps, millions of years ago, were looking for a new home too. I mean, think about it, right? No need for spaceships or cryo or mind drives.
So we're talking about like an alien species or just an ancient
Here figured out how to operate the stone.
humanity?
To leave, he wouldn't be here playing chess.
who created bridges between worlds.
If anyone could figure out how to...
Dr. Benson, thank you.
Is that Becca?
Dr. Benson, the implant will start collecting your memory now.
It's cool to see her again, even though I'm like, they keep dragging her out every now and again.
I envy you. You are going on the can help you save your brother.
My brother doesn't even know I'm gone yet. 6 years for us is like a blink of an eye where he is.
That means
6
we have time
years.
to me like you.
Ow!
What if I feel like something bad's gonna happen?
You really want to expose Hope to that? Armies? A war?
True.
You're just trying to guilt me into staying.
Yes, because it's the only tactic I haven't used.
You know, I have to warn Bellamy about the primes.
What about us? Aren't we your family too?
Yeah, you are.
Of course you are.
I love her outfit.
I'll come back. I'll bring the others. Hope can have a real life.
You won't accept this now, but I'm probably saving your life. Because even with that thing on... You want to hate me? Hate me. But Hope needs you.
Stop making us about Hope!
I was gonna say you shouldn't do it for Hope. That's not fair.
I need you to. Is that what you want to hear? Your brother left you to die. Why are you so eager to run back to him? Why aren't we enough?
I just need to tell him. I understand.
This is your home now.
That's not fair to Diyoza to do that to her. Well, so we know she gets back somehow.
But Diyoza helped me past that darkness. It's behind me now. I need you to know that I finally understand all you did to protect me. I wish I could thank you. By the
I don't
time
think we ever
you
saw
get
that
this-
message, right? So where did that go?
If you get this, I'll probably be an old lady or dead. I want you to know I was happy. I have hope. Diyoza's a
Literally.
pain in the ass, but I love her. Like I love you.
I want them to be a couple. As much as I hate that she's trapped to here, that's
Please don't worry
not
about
cool.
me.
This guy was hoping
Deserve
like
to be happy, big brother.
just one little kiss.
Always yours, Octavia.
I mean, it's really sweet though. Oh, is that the message that? How did it end up there?
That was not meant for you.
It's not meant for you either.
It's my watch.
It's Octavia's letter to her brother.
I remember when she threw this into the bridge. Oh, we still thought Sanctum was on the other side. It must have been how they knew we were here.
Oh.
The oscillations are in sync. Something's happening.
Here we go.
And that creates a bridge to their place.
That's a memory viewer. Okay? My friend was here.
Of course it is.
Now that man just entered the code and opened the bridge.
Give us back.
No. I serve the master and his
Me
ship
too.
and his sword. For all mankind.
Uh-oh. Oh. Let me jump. Uh-oh.
Who are you? Octavia or Diyoza?
Because they know the names of two of the people at least.
Hurry.
Oh, I see it. 100. I see what you're doing.
Stay quiet. No matter what you hear,
I like the callback though.
you be brave.
Secure them.
That look of she's safe.
Anders wants them to remember everything. On your feet.
So weird to think how much Octavia went through in that little few seconds that obviously she was gone. Okay, that was my reaction to the 100 season 7 episode 2, The Garden. And similar to last season, there's a lot of things that were introduced in this episode and my head is confused. Some of it makes a lot of sense. Some of it I still need to get my head around. But it introduced a lot of names of things, of new concepts, of things that were going on in other worlds, and it's a lot. So, let's deal with the initial timeline of Octavia going over, which I initially thought was her when she got stabbed and went through, but was actually revealed to be when she went over that first time, middle of season 6, when Diyoza ran through the portal, the anomaly, then Octavia ran through. So this is what happened. So Octavia went through, came out in the water, found Diyoza in the house, she was giving birth, gave birth to Hope, and long story short, they spent their next bunch of years living a life, raising Hope in this place that they called Sky Ring. So it's this other world, which later on we found out was planet Beta. The planet that the Primes, I believe, said they were going to go to in the finale last season. We're going to leave Sanctum and go to planet Beta. I think that's right. So they lived their life, and it was really sweet and really nice to see. Diyoza back anyway. I love Diyoza. I think she's ace. She's awesome. But her and Octavia together, whilst last season I was like, these are a powerhouse of good pairing, kick-ass bad couple of women. Love watching it. Watching them raise essentially a daughter together, I really wanted them to just be lovers. Like, these are such two good people, and Diyoza helped Octavia realise that she needs to be a better person and go through all this stuff, and they raised a daughter together and had this life with a garden that they maintained, and they made clothes and they made food. It was all so sweet. I just wanted them to kiss and just admit how much they love each other in that way and be a power couple. The problem with that is, I know for a fact that doesn't end well, necessarily for them, at least up to where we're up to, because we obviously knew Octavia comes running back through the anomaly at some point, running from something. What isn't explained is when they went through the bridge, the anomaly, to Beta, Sky Ring, why was Octavia healed? That's not been touched on yet. She just came out under the water and the arm was okay. So that's not really explained. I don't think at this point they touched on the healing properties of these portal bridge things. But they had a really sweet life, and I like the simplicity of, you know, we've not got technology, we've not got this and that. It's literally just us three in a cabin in the forest. We grow food, we make food, we find things to make our own clothes, and it's just really sweet. It's really nice and a simple life that, unfortunately, there was always that undercurrent of, we know it's not going to end well, because Octavia comes back through running, and then also when a Hope came through later on at the end of season 6, she mentioned saving her mum, stabbing Octavia. So we just know that there's things on the horizon. So I try not to get too invested in this relationship between the three, but it was very sweet to watch, and I was rooting for it. I stand the two together. I think they could be a great power couple. I don't think they're going to end that way. I don't know where the show is going to end, but I just don't necessarily see them together. But I think if they'd had a life together on this planet as a family, kind of similar, I guess, in some ways, like Monty, Harper, and Jordan, like them two grow old together and die, and the kid moves on. I would have been okay with that in the long run, because I just love those two. But yeah, so that was that, and then that ended because the anomaly opened up, and these people came through with masks on. So Octavia sent a note to Bellamy down to the portal. She kept trying to swim down into the lake to get through. Couldn't get in there enough time. She couldn't hold her breath long enough. But she wrote a letter to Bellamy, sent it through. But as we found out later on, that portal actually goes to Bardo, a different world. So people over there found out about Octavia. Diyoza came through. They managed to hide Hope away, which I really liked, because obviously the comparisons between that and Octavia's life when she was hidden under the floor, I really liked that. I thought it was really sweet. And I do like when the 100 kind of references itself. I think it works really well. Like, it was a very clear reference to Octavia's own life and how she was now doing that for a daughter of sorts. I thought that was really cool. I really like that reference. But yeah, so they captured up Diyoza and Octavia and have taken them to Bardo, leaving Hope on her own. But we don't know how the rest happens yet. We've not seen the time after that up to Hope coming through, what's going on with Diyoza, And how did Octavia come back through with all the tattoo things on her? Oh, I've just looked it up as well. I was trying to remember the thing during the episode when you come out of deep water too fast, like Diyoza was talking about, a decompression thing. It's called the Bends. That was it. 'Cause I remember it was in a game that I played, Man of Medan. The Bends, and I've been in a couple of films I've watched about deep water as well. But yeah, that was it. Anyway, not relevant to the review of the episode, but it was just playing on my mind just then when I was thinking, what was it called when you come out of water, but your body doesn't decompress properly? The Bends. Right, so that was their past. Great life together. They've been taken to Bardo. Moving forward, we found out a lot of it from Hope. So whatever she's done from Octavia and Diyoza leaving to coming through at the end of season 6, she's found out a lot of information. So the anomaly is a portal, is a bridge between worlds. The orbs are bridges from one world to another. We don't fully know necessarily who put them in place, but they could have been there for thousands of years, millions of years, whatever. But it's a quick way to space travel and to travel between worlds and whatnot without needing to fly with a spaceship. As you put your beep, 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 boop in these orbs, creates a bridge, you go through. Another thing that these orbs can do is bring people through. People have their own code. This is kind of where I started to lose track of what was going on. People have their own code, and I think if you press the right code, it can bring a person through, which is what they did with Hope. Is that right? They put her code in the thing, Hope came through, and then she stabbed Octavia, but she wasn't actually trying to kill her, she was trying to tag her, because she'd made a deal with someone over at Bardo, which we'll talk about in a minute, to get Octavia back, which is probably part of what happened when Octavia and Diyoza got taken over there. Maybe Octavia escaped and they wanted her back. So she tagged Octavia, so they brought Octavia through, which is how she disappeared to save her mum's life. I think that's right. Still don't fully understand all of the memory loss, because Octavia had this life with Hope. She had over 6 years living with Hope and raising her as a daughter, and she loved her and they had this life together. But she didn't remember any of that when she went back through. I know they briefly touched on the memory loss, but I don't fully remember all of it. Why there's memory loss? Is it just a side effect of the travel between bridges, unless you have the suit on, which might stop that, because the guys in the suits came through and remembered things? Maybe. Right, so next thing, Bardo, which may or may not be people from Elysius 3, or at least descendants of them. Bardo, there's the disciples, who are all faithful to Andrews. I'm sure it was an A, ends with an S, and it's something like Andrews, something like that. You can correct me down below. And they're loyal to him, the disciples, and obviously the guys with the suits on, the invisibility guys, I'm assuming they're all disciples. We don't know much about Bardo yet. I presume we're going to get there very shortly, if not find out through flashbacks what happened to Diyoza and Octavia as they went to Bardo and whatnot. So they're all over there. Like I said, that was touched on, but we don't really know much about it. Current time, Echo, Gabriel, and Grown Up Hope came through. I'm really enjoying all the different parts, and I like the mystery piecing things together like last season. When you're first watching it, like now, it's a bit of a head fuck, because there's just so many different things put into motion that aren't explained yet intentionally, and I'm on board for the ride. It's giving me a headache, I'm not going to lie, because it kind of gave me, it was last season with the Primes and Sanctum and the blood rituals and this and the mind drives. So they came through. The house was empty because obviously Diyoza was presumably in Bardo, Hope was with them. But we also found out that Scarring is a prisoner planet, so they send people here who aren't faithful, aren't disciples, I think. They sent prisoners over. They have the clocks on their arms that tick down for how much time they have to spend there. There was a doll who the guy called Hope. So he must have been there when she was a kid, or at least at some point in that interval, to help raise her, or at least become friends with her. But when she disappeared, the isolation got to him. He called the doll Hope. There was also other dead people who were part of Elysius 3. And then we found out the people with the mind drives, because they were Elysius 3. There was the guy who knew Becca. So I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit when we had the mind drives. It makes a lot of sense we know about Becca and she had all these chips and mind drives and whatnot. And it makes sense that because of the Primes who were from, descendants of that first Elysius mission. Or was it Eligius? Eligius, not Elysius. I said it wrong last season. I'm going to say it wrong again probably. Eligius. Is it Eligius or is it Elysius? I think it's Eligius 3. The descendants of that obviously had the mind drives, so it makes sense that more people would have it. I hope the mind drives don't play too big a part in this season. Minus obviously Russell and the Dark Commander. And none of that was touched on this episode, which I kind of liked. The first episode was all about Sanctum, Clark, Russell, that stuff. This episode focused on Octavia and Diyoza, so I liked the separation. I thought that was cool. So, with the mind drives, Becca was there briefly. Good to see her again. Ties it all together. And that was kind of it. They were going to follow the code to put in the thing to get to Bordeaux, I think. But the prisoner guy smashed the iPad. The memory viewer. Because apparently now we can take those memory banks, put it into what I call an iPad, and now we can watch memories, which was never touched on last season. So again, it's one of those, like, we're just going to put in something new just to shoehorn it in. But I don't feel like it's going to play a massive part, I don't think, in the season. We'll see. This episode was cool. I liked it. I liked the different timelines, the forward and backwards between Octavia arriving on Skyring and learn about her life with Diyoza, which I loved. It was really sweet, and I think, like I said, if that was like a season finale and it was going to lead into them having this life together and dying like Monty and Harper, I absolutely would have been okay with it. But I liked their life together. I thought it was very sweet, but just with an ominous feeling in my chest that we know it doesn't end well. I like that a lot of new things have been introduced. There is a mystery. We've got more closure on these anomalies. It's a bridge between worlds. Very intense sci-fi, like I talked about. Still not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm going to give it a few more episodes to see. But these are bridges, which I like that they're giving answers about the orb and the anomaly. Like, all last season, it was the anomaly, and they never ever explained what it was. Ever. But we know it's a bridge between worlds. The orb is essentially the activation of this bridge. You can press the things and it will take you to... So you have to put in a certain code and it will take you to a certain place. A little confusion about the bridges, which you can explain down below if I'm meant to know. Because Octavia went through the one on Sanctum, came out on Skyring underwater, next to that, the green bit. But they said that if you go through the portal underwater, you come out in Bordeaux. So is it just like a one-way system? But if she came through that bridge and came out underwater on that with that anomaly, why does it not go back that way? You know? Did I just miss a sentence that explained that? Or is it a one-way system? So you go from Sanctum to Skyring, Skyring to Bordeaux, Bordeaux to possibly Sanctum again? I don't know. I liked all the pieces that have been introduced. I'm excited to find out more about it. Still not sure how I'll land on Hope as a character. Like, I like her backstory with Octavia wanting to learn to fight, and Octavia, like, teach me how to be more like you. But Diyoza wanting to protect her, and I don't want her involved in that life. Even though she was a terrorist, she wanted her daughter to be safe and protected away from fighting and war and not be a part of all that, which is really nice. But unfortunately, life doesn't end that way because of things that we still happening. And yeah, I don't know how I've got a lot to say. I'm not overly taken by Hope as an adult. Yeah, I get her motivations. I do like her, but I'm not like invested in her story. I just want to see more of Diyoza because she's a badass, and I like her playing the mother figure. What I'm gonna just in my head have a headcanon as Octavia's girlfriend, and I'm just really excited actually to find out what Bordeaux looks like, what's the setup at Bordeaux, more about the disciples, what they want with Octavia and Diyoza, just what happened to them in that time period between them getting captured on Skyring, going over there, and Octavia arriving back on Sanctum. What happened in the middle? Because there can't have been too long a time, because Octavia didn't age particularly between the first, like when she went over there and when she came back. She looked about the same age. Obviously, we know it's been at least 6 years, probably longer than that. So we'll see what happened there, but I'm looking forward to finding out more about it. Looking forward to all the pieces slowly starting to come together later on down in the season. But overall, really unique episode. Multiple timelines, multiple worlds going on. I really liked it. I liked the characters, and I'm excited to see more of the different timelines and Bardo and Sanctum again with Clark, and how all the things will eventually become one. But yeah, that was my reaction to Season 7, Episode 2 of The Garden. As always, my name is Scott. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Hope, Diyoza and Octavia living together. Did you stand them as much as I do? And the excitement for finding out more about Bardo. Are you as confused as I am? Like, I feel like I understand it a bit more than I did last season, but there's still a lot of things that I'm just like, it's giving me a headache trying to put all the pieces together to make a perfect picture in my head. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below to watch the full reaction to this episode, as well as help support the channel. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you all very, very soon for the 7th episode, no, the 3rd episode, I told you my head is all over the place, for the 3rd episode of Season 7 of the 100. Bye guys, take care, stay safe.